You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Williams. We are on a slow and steady climb up this Capricorn mountain with a whole bunch of transits this week, all leading up to the Capricorn new moon at the very top with some possible new seeds to plant. Nevertheless, we have a long way to go. So let's get to stepping with the astrology of the week. Over the weekend, we had all these planets in Capricorn, Venus going first, the Sun, Mars, Mercury's there too, but he's just a little behind. He liked to play all day, so he'll get there. And they're all making these oppositions to Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, which was pretty much going on for the Cancer full moon. So they're still in this opposition space with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. And that is presenting possible tensions and tug of war type feels with our desires, passions, relationship expectations, obligations, money, our egos, our plans, our ambitions, all things. The energy and drive to get stuff into action, all of those things are opposing what could be going on at home, what could be going on inside the body, and how we could be ambitious, but also needing to tend to our inner spaces on our emotional well-being and our need with rest and nurture. So we're getting ready to go on this climb, but there are a few things we got to take care of back at the house. First off, our bodies. We need to be well rested and nourished for such a trek. Our kids need stuff. Our spouses need stuff. Our mom and them might need stuff. And the house just needs to be restocked and in order so we don't come back home to chaos and have two jobs instead of just one, or having people calling us on the road needing all kinds of things. And we are losing focus from the things that we're trying to concentrate on. So over the weekend, we could have felt motivation kick in, but also we could have felt physically tired and drained. Kids needed stuff, spouse needed stuff, home needed attention, body needed attention, all normal, all fine. But with all these planets in Capricorn, our ambition, our drive, our ideas are ramped up. Our need to provide and take responsibility for things and handle things are also ramped up. And a lot of us could feel the tension, but trying to mediate the two. There could be guilt when it was rest time. A lot of us could have felt guilty or wound up when we were resting. We could have felt like we needed to be productive. All the shouldas and couldas could have came about. Lots of mental drama about resting and just needing to be a little low key and have some downtime. But we also could have felt a little irritated, needing to tend to something in the home life when work was calling us. Just push and pull between home and work life. In a society that really glorifies the climb, the productivity, the grind, and the grit to go get the resources to build the structure of the home, we must never discount the equal importance of nurturing the inside and the people in it. And all year, we're going to be dealing with this same tension, learning how to dance between rest and achievement, how to honor the importance of the hearth, just like we value the climb of the mountain. And on that climb, we're still going to have to stop and rest and rehydrate and rejuvenate ourselves so that we can pour energy back into our bodies. Because if we don't stop or reset, we're going to collapse. We're going to stumble, we're going to fall, we're going to become discombobulated, and then we're going to be making all kind of mistakes and getting lost in delirium and eventually ending up in a holding pattern or a detour that makes us want to quit because we've lost our way and we've lost our steam to do the thing, which can cause us to ball up on the side of the mountain, not wanting to move. And now we're stuck and we're lost and we're scared and we're tired because we did not honor the pause or the feminine principle of creation. But we can't stay on the mountain. We got to get down, or we got to climb up and then come down. So this is also a message that says if something goes wrong or if something is taking longer than we expected or it's becoming unclear, you may get discouraged, but don't give up because things are not going fast as you want it, or you're getting confused by the terrain. There will be people along the path to help you. There will be resources and berries and shit in the bushes that you can eat The universe is sustaining you along the way. Don't be discouraged by what you can't see up ahead. So, y'all, another thing happened. When we decided we're going on this journey, it becomes very evident that there might be some people down at the house and in the hometown that may not like it, they may not understand it, and that also includes parts of ourselves, our inner dialogue. Change is scary for a lot of people, even within ourselves. So, between today, Sunday, January 11th, and Tuesday, January 13th, which just so happens to be my birthday, we are going to have all of these planets in Capricorn square the wounded healer himself, Chiron in Aries. And Chiron in Aries is showing us the wisdom of the wounded sense of self and how we can extract that and turn that into power and all the stuff, right? So we're going to have Venus go first, squaring Chiron, then the Sun, then Mars, and then later on this week, Mercury's going to square him because Mercury's late. He's behind on the path, okay? He had to stop and say some things to some people. And these squares are possibly bringing up wounded sense of self, memories, inner dialogue about all the past mistakes we've made, the times we were wrong, the times we were the villains, our fears of rejection, our fears that we're not good with money, being abandoned by our loved ones if we choose to pursue the things that we want to do, being rejected by the tribe, all that shit. And there could be other people creating dialogues, contributing to all of the inner fears. Maybe somebody is hating or telling you what's not possible or what you ain't gonna do and what they hope you don't make it doing and how that shit ain't gonna work, whatever. Or this could just be a situation where somebody just have something to say, passive aggressive shade type stuff. You're triggered. There might be a situation this week that has you triggered. But what we have to remember is that whether a person says something or not, whether it's our inner dialogue based on past experiences, the map on this climb was divinely placed in your hands. And it is not meant to be judged, approved, or validated by any other human, including your human brain who tries to keep you safe. This is a divine assignment. Your higher self knows the way. This assignment is holy, but we're flesh. And no matter what they said in them damn nursery rhymes, sticks, stones, and words hurt. Okay, so we may be thrown off our game by something this week, by some type of thought, something that was said, but I would like to insert a credit check before we proceed. Okay, number one, cite your source. If someone says something triggering, does that person even like you? We should not be listening to people who don't like us. They don't want us to win. They don't even like you. Number two, is the person who said something or inferred something in a position to be saying things about you? Meaning, is this a person you would like to emulate? You want your children or your spouse to be like? Number three, does this person even know you like that? Or is this an associate or a coworker, somebody who doesn't know you personally? If any of these check boxes pertain to the person talking shit about you, credit denied. We got shit to do, and we do not have time to be arguing with no haters or no non-playing characters. I think the kids call them NPCs. Get the fuck on somewhere. Now, let's say the individual passed the credit check and this is someone you trust, you honor, you respect. This is even a part of yourself that is feeling like you can't do something because it's not going a way that feels like success to you. I know how hard it could be to feel like you're alone on this journey, but we all have to walk alone at some point. And this assignment was given to you. Perhaps a wiser person has good advice, and we want to think about what they're saying. Can we accept advice without assuming it's an attack? And if you feel attacked or triggered by anything that someone else says, the best thing I think that we can do is ask ourselves, which one of my personalities believes that other person and why? Because it's never about anyone else and what they say. It's always going to be about us and the wound that they've touched when they said or did the things that they said or did. But you have the power to face those wounds head on and turn pain into power, which is what Chiron is trying to teach us, how to extract that medicine from that wound. Now lace up, because we got some climbing to do. Now, by Wednesday, January 14th, Mercury in Capricorn is going to make it to the house where he's going to post Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. So there could be multiple things happening simultaneously, and that's what the astrology always indicates. There's so many things that all transits could be. We can't touch them all unless you get a year ahead reading. That's a whole nother story. But let's talk about the mundane transits. Mercury's caught up. The mind has made it to the house. It's eager to eat. It's eager to get the bags packed. It wants to get its boots laced up so it can catch up with the rest of the pack. But there are small things at the house that needs the mind's attention. First off, Chiron is outside smoking a cigarette and like, listen, I know you're going to hear this from somebody else, so you might as well hear from me. Such and such says something. And I already done told them, do they self-introspection and don't even be tripping, and make sure that you are looking at your own wounds so we can get on the trail. And Mercury might be like, oh no, who said something? Fuck that. I'm gonna go check some shit. And he didn't even get the whole story. Or this could be, man, I woke up, my mind finally caught up to my goals and my ambition and my energy. I don't have the mental block anymore. I'm ready to get started. And then I come home and everybody's like, I need this, I need that. What about this? What about that? And it's all urgency. People calling you, can you take me here? And you feel stretched and maybe irritated because there's no pause. I'm trying to do something and everybody's pulling at me. And for some reason, my brain is seeing that as an emergency and as an urgency, probably because I want to get back to the things that I'm doing. So I might snap. This is why it's going to be so important to add the feminine to the masculine. So when I say feminine, I mean pausing, waking up, doing our daily spiritual routine, our daily spiritual practice, checking in with self, making sure that we have all of the information versus just getting out there and acting. That's not going to fly anymore because it's not going to work anymore, because this is how life is changing for everybody in the world. You're going to have to learn how to pause. During all of these pushes and pulls and people saying stuff, pulling at you, you might respond in a snappy way. You might go off cocksured, full throttle, no pause, no stop, and you don't have all the information. Or you might go and try to execute and launch something because you got a download and a hunch and you want it now because you feel like it's going to get you the results that you need fast, and you are missing a lot of important information. Details are not what they need to be. There's a lot of mistakes happening, and I think that what Mercury opposing Jupiter is really trying to get us to see is that this is not a time to rush forward. This is a time that you want to pause and make sure all of the parts have been looked at so that they can have a very efficient whole. Have a strategic plan. Set the home up for success so that everything else could fall into place. That includes you. Have a daily mindful practice so you can hear with your adult ears and respond with your big boy and big girl words. Be open to the input of others. You don't know everything. Some things you haven't even thought of. It's okay for somebody to give you advice. Pause and ensure you have all of the information before you execute or you go forward with something. Inspect all of the parts so the whole can be efficient. Avoid rushing towards something lest you will be in a bunch of holding patterns and detours while you're on this climb and all the other climbs this year. Pack your patience, because they're going to be detours, ebbs and flows. Things are not just going to be straight shot full throttle. And eat a Snickers. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Now, by Thursday, the gang will be in a sextile to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And then they're going to turn around and trine Uranus in Taurus. Well, the Sun and Venus will, because they're a little bit further up. Mars is, checking and making sure he don't have to hit nobody. And we know Mercury's somewhere a little behind. So Venus is the one that's in the front. She's a little bit ahead of everybody else. She's going to go first. She's going to hit these meetups by Thursday with Neptune and Saturn. And then she's going to get into a trine with Uranus before she goes off to change clothes from Capricorn to Aquarius. And then the rest will be a little behind, but everybody's going to be in their Capricorn attire by the time we get to the top of the mountain during that new moon. So let's talk about the sextiles with Saturn and Neptune. These sextiles are going to be slowdowns. But they are opportunities to have good, wise conversations with the wise aunties. So we got these two wise aunties on the trail. Saturn is the serious one who's making sure all of the things are checked and checked off. Neptune is the hippie eccentric one. So they remind me of Grace and Frankie. If you ever seen that show on Netflix, it's so funny. You should watch it. But it's definitely a good little setup for this portion of the story. Now, Frankie, which is Neptune, may be telling us all these beautiful and creative stories. giving us these downloads. We're sitting by the campfire. She wants to hear all about our family, revitalized by how much we love them. We're in nature at night. We're looking up at the stars and we feel very connected to the divine this week. We could feel like we are having like a spiritual connection to things that are bigger than us. And this may be revitalizing the way we want to serve. The reasons why we are serving, the greater purpose beyond us, the ways in which we can help people, our creative imagination could be on fire. We can feel extremely sensitive to the needs of others and just compassionate, missing our families, and letting the call to serve be the water that fills up the cup. As we wake up the next morning, we're prepared to continue our ascent up. Grace, aka Saturn, wants to take a look at the map. She wants to ensure we're going the right way. She's asking, have you checked all the details? Do you know where the snake holes and the cliff drops are to avoid danger? Have you checked on your family? And most importantly, always remember why you are on this journey. Do you know your why? Not for the likes, not for the fame, not for the money. That's cool too. But what is your why? Why are you doing this? Knowing why you are doing this is the only way that you can sustain such a climb. The only way that you can sustain any pauses and any moments of not being able to see ahead. You want to know your why. And this is my theatrical way of saying to stay focused on what you're doing, not how long it's taking, not how much money you don't have, not how much things are slowing down for you, not going the way you want it to. It's not going to go fast like you think, because there are going to be no skip steps. Some parts of the journey we're going to have to pay more attention because the terrain is going to get very rocky. But if you feel you're being called to this, you must keep going. And then just like that, bam, Venus runs into Uranus in Taurus, and we remember our why. Like our why is reinstated in us. Or maybe we never really knew why. We never really connected to what we were doing. And just like that, we realized I've been doing it all wrong. I want to do this other thing. Like this thing that's been calling to me all this time. I want to do that. I no longer resonate with this plan. This plan wasn't even something I really wanted to do in the first place. It was something that I thought was going to get me certain things to take care of other people. But now I realize that I have a different calling. And then by Sunday, January 18th, we have reached the top of the mountain. We have our new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees and 43 minutes of Capricorn. The sun and moon are standing at the top of the mountain in the dark, together like the ice king and queen that they are. And this is where we're going to plant our new seeds on that Capricorn mountain. I feel like some of us have flags. We're staking our flag at the top. I reached the top. What new intentions are seeding within you? Is there a new path wanting to unfold? What is breaking down and transforming into a new thing? The new moon could be giving us new dreams, new ideas, and the courage and ambitions to go for it. Something that we feel called to and excited to be a part of, and something we're willing to nurture because it is aligned to our values and the things that really make us swell. Something that gives us purpose, joy, and it's very collaborative with our emotional well being. So it's just like all of this works together. I feel like a lot of us could maybe feel like this is too good to be true. Some of us could feel like, all this time I thought in life you had to pick one. Is it joy or is it the hustle, the climb? It couldn't be both. But when it's your calling, we begin to see that it automatically becomes both. And it feels like a dream. And dreams really can come true. That is all of the astrology for the week in a nutshell. And the saga continues next week. But if you would like your own personal tour guide into what the astrology is unfolding for you personally, come walk with me. Book a 2026 3 month ahead reading, and you'll see all your personal transits and what could be unfolding. We'll be looking at a lot of, personal astrology that will be very specific to you, definitely zeroing down on a lot of concrete possibilities. But nonetheless, stay tuned for next week's quest as all of these Capricorn planets begin to ascend down into the layers of Aquarius, and we will run right into Pluto, old Hades himself. See you, love you, bye. Talk to you next week. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.